Hey there! I'm Charlotte with Colorful Teaching for You. Thank you for joining me. Today we are going to be talking about how we can help you and your children develop resiliency by overcoming difficult situations. Now, if you are going through a difficult situation, know that I sympathize and I empathize with you, because if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I've been through my own hell and back. And it is not easy. When I was a child, most especially during my teenage years and adult years, I struggled with learning how to process my emotions and just how to process actually what was going on in my life. And so this is what we're going to be talking about today: how to process, how to understand and overcome these situations. If you're going through something like this, or if you know someone who's going through something like this, please do share this video with them. And before we get started, I want to encourage you to download the free guide that's associated with this video. So the link will be associated with it, and it's because you're going to need it for, I believe it's step 3. So it's just self-help strategies to help you navigate through self-care. Okay, now let's really get to the meat of this, or vegetable, whichever you're into, of this day today. The first step is I'd like you to reflect and acknowledge what's going on in your life, the situation that you're dealing with. So if I'm looking down here, it's because I have specific reflection questions. So if you have a pen and paper, grab that right now and let's get going. The first question is, what happened? I want you to really write down what happened, what went wrong. Anything that you remember, just jot it down. Don't worry about spelling or if anything is out of place. In whatever order that you remember, just write it all down. It's kind of like just spitting it all out onto paper, okay? Then the next thing I want you to do is look at if you or if somebody else was the cause of the problem. Now, I really, really want you to focus on the cause of the problem, not on the person associated. We're not here to place blame. We're just looking at what actually happened. That's it, okay? The third one is, now I want you to take everything that you've written down and lay it all out. I want you to look at, how did you manage the situation? Not just what happened, but what steps did you take to manage the situation? And what could or should you have done differently? And if you don't know the answer to that, don't worry about it, because we're going to get to that in step 4, okay? The last question in this segment is, look at how you're feeling, because you really want to acknowledge your feelings. And the reason is because if you don't face it right now, it's going to eventually creep up. Something's going to trigger it, right? So what I want you to do is focus on it for just a week. That's it. Because you do need to sit with it, and then after the week has passed, breathe through it, and then you need to start moving forward. Okay? Because if you keep staying in this for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, a year, at that point we're going to be stuck in a sense of victimhood, and I don't want you there for a long time. You can still feel the pain if that's what you're going through, but you need to start at this point, after a week, taking steps forward. And so we're going to start taking steps forward in the next section. So step 2 is to start taking action. Now, I'm not telling you to make big momentous changes to your life. What I am asking you to do is take one small step forward. So based on the situation where you said, okay, this is how I managed the situation, this is what I could have done differently, well, what's one step you can take right now to help yourself move forward? So here's an example. A few weeks ago we talked about a breakup. If you're going through a breakup, maybe you need to call up a friend and start to go out and be with other people. If you lost a job, it might be time to start working on part of your cover letter. If you're time to call up just one person, I'm not saying call everybody up, but call one person up to see if you can get some support to get out of that situation, okay? Just call for support, that's it. So that's your second step, taking action. The third step is, this is where my free download comes into play if you need help with your self-care strategies, is to really focus on prioritizing self-care. So I want you to really look at how can you take care of yourself this is the key part, in a healthy way. So do you need more sleep? Do you need to eat more wholesome food? Do you need to perhaps talk to someone, get some support? So what exactly do you need in order to take care of yourself? And if this is something that you aren't sure about beyond downloading the free guide, perhaps call someone that you could bounce ideas off of, a close friend who knows you best, or a family member who has your best interest at heart. Okay? The fourth step here is to learn something new. Now, what I mean by learning something new is I'm not saying spend an entire hour, an entire day just learning something new. What I want you to do is spend a few days learning something new. And in this case, maybe if all you have is 10 minutes a day, spend 10 minutes a day, because that's better than spending an hour once. Okay? So spend a little bit of time working through what steps you can take. So if it was a breakup, perhaps you need to learn how to maybe a new hobby. If it was you lost your job, maybe it's how to write a resume again, or you need to work on a new skill. You know, maybe it's typing skills or something much bigger. An internet skill or something, right? So what exactly do you need to do? Now, here is the thing I want you to keep in mind. If you have a choice, if all you have is 15 minutes, because I know sometimes you're a parent or you're a teacher and you're busy, life gets in the way, right? If all you have is 15 minutes at the end of the day, what do you prioritize? Self-care. Because you need to be taking care of yourself first. Everything else will fall into place. Because the beauty of learning something new is you could totally do this on your commute. You can listen to a podcast, you can listen to an audiobook, even this video, once it's downloaded, you could totally listen to it. You don't have to watch it, listen to it on your phone with your earbuds, right? So you can learn something new on your commute, but if you have that extra spare 15 minutes, go for the self-care, okay? And then your fifth step is to ask for help. Now, some people don't like it and some people think it's, it's weakness. But in fact, when you ask for help, it's showing just how strong you are. It's not easy to ask for help, but the key to asking for help, though, is make sure you try the first 4 steps that we've outlined before you ask for help, because there is such a thing as learned helplessness, and that's not what we want to go for. So make sure you try the first 4 steps and then ask for support if something is missing. So let's review the 5 steps so you know what 4 steps you need to do before you ask for support. First, reflect on what went wrong and acknowledge your feelings. Second is to take action, 1 small step forward, because if you take 1 step forward, right, you're going to actually gain momentum and everything opens up for you then. Step 3, prioritize self-care. Step 4, if and when you can manage it, learn something new, very important. Step 5 is to ask for help once you've done all of your first 4 steps. Coolio, cheerio? Yes. Now, remember, if you need support, I'm here. If you need me to write down or to type out the reflection questions because you want to work on it, send me a private message and I will be happy to do it for free. So go ahead and send me that message. In the meantime, remember to create, experience, and teach from the heart. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next week at our usual time on Friday at 5:30 p.m. It's just because it's my sister's wedding-ish weekend, so we had to do it today. Thank you again for joining me. Take care, my friends. Bye.